Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bitter Rivals podcast. This is episode 131, powered by 91N. I am your host, Avery, along with co-host Gitano Gallo, back for another episode. Sorry, we missed last week. Co-host Avery Roush was not in the city. So, we skipped a week. We apologize for that, but we are back with some hard-hitting action. The Leafs had a hell of a week, let me tell you. The Leafs had a good week. Beat a couple of rivals.
I feel like we just have to start off with last night because that's just
okay. We'll start off with last night. Gitano and I were watching that at our table at a Stag and Do. So we have limited. We did not watch the game in its full form. Let's say that. Would you agree with that, Gitano?
Yeah, I mean, like maybe for your end, you might want to pay a little closer attention, but I feel like from what I saw with the Habs, it was basically what we've seen for the last 2 weeks. It's just not been good.
It's poor. Yeah.
Like it's. I don't mind being poor. Like I get the quality in our team is just not there yet, but it's just how soft they were. Like this is your fucking biggest rivals on a Saturday night. Like I don't care how bad you get beat. Fucking go down swinging, you know what I mean? And just top to bottom, just fucking soft.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of what should have happened in that game, right? Like the Habs did win on opening night against the Leafs, and they probably the Leafs are a better hockey team at this point in time. Like we can agree on that, that. It's just the case, and specifically last night, the Leafs are on a roll. They got their power play running. They beat Boston 4-0 on Monday night. They beat Detroit on Friday night 3-1. It was a light week in terms of actual schedule. We only had the 3 games, one Monday, or was it Tuesday? I think it might have been Tuesday we played Boston. Because I had Monday off, so that's why I'm thinking it was Monday. They just had a good week. And the biggest story of the week was definitely the power play. The power play without Auston Matthews, for whatever reason, our best player not playing. We can agree on that. Auston Matthews is the Leafs' best player.
Yeah, by a mile.
By a long shot, right? And without him, first of all, the past few years, it's been 2 or 3 years now. When he's not playing, the Leafs are incredible. Every single person on the roster steps it up. And it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense at all. The power play
it should be concerning, actually.
It is. It is concerning, right? Like it is very concerning that they can't maintain that level of excellence with their best player in the lineup. Like why when he is not there does everybody seem to play better? Like it's wild. Again, the biggest story of the week was the power play. This was the worst power play in the National Hockey League. The Leafs power play was embarrassing, pitiful. They couldn't get anything going. For the first what is it now, a month? For the first month of the season, that is the worst power play I've ever seen. Like, honest to God. But these past 3 games against Boston, I believe it was 2 power play goals. Against Detroit, they had another couple power play goals. Like they're on fire now. They're running it well over 50% over the past 3 games. It's gone from the worst to the best power play that I've seen. I think a big part of that power play working, to be honest with you, is Matthew Knies' presence in front of the net. That's really what it comes down to for me. And he's in there replacing Auston Matthews. And it's not that Auston Matthews is a poor power play performer. Throughout his career, he's shown that he can set up and he can just put pucks past goaltenders. It's that simple. But whether it's somebody else that you're going to have to take off that power play, whether it's putting Mitch Marner on another unit, whether it's putting John Tavares on another unit, Matthew Knies has to be on that number 1 PP. He's huge, and he stands in front of the net, and he doesn't let the goaltender see a fucking thing, right? Like, it's that simple. It's very, very simple. And he does it so well. You have to keep him there. When Matthews comes back, I don't care who the hell comes off that first power play, but Matthew Knies stays on it. He has to. And obviously, Auston Matthews is going to be on the number 1 power play. I am not suggesting that Auston Matthews should be on PP2. I am nowhere near suggesting that. What I am suggesting is that somebody else has to come off because Matthew Knies cannot. Right? Like, he has had such a hot start to this season. And now he, in my eyes, has single-handedly turned around that power play. He is such an important piece of this hockey team. And we're talking about a second round pick from a couple of years ago, man. Like,
well, the thing is, he offers something that, and I don't mean this as like a shot at your core four, but like he offers something that none of them bring to the table, and that's like that gritty physical offense that I'm gonna, the Brendan Gallagher offense, if you want to call it that.
That power forward, right? Like that's what he brings. He brings that like you said, that physicality on the offensive side of things. Not to mention he has scoring touch. Not to mention he can make plays. Like this is a quality hockey player that the Leafs really, really stumbled upon in the second round here. And there's lots of talk about what to do with him. Do you sign him right now? Like, what do you sign him for? How long do you sign him for? He's an RFA, I believe, at the end of this year. So I think this is his third season. No, I think he only played a couple of games a couple of years ago. I don't think he burned a year of his ELC, if I'm not mistaken.
Give me 2 seconds. I can check for you.
Check for me. I forget kind of the situation there. But no, this kid is such an important piece of this hockey team already. He's the perfect winger for Auston Matthews in my eyes. He's because of that physicality, because of the forecheck that he brings, because of the tenacity that he brings in the offensive zone. It's just important to have somebody like that playing with a guy like Auston Matthews.
So he played 3 games in 22-23. So he burned a year of his ELC there, and then last year, and this will be the last year of his ELC.
Yeah, so I would sign him now, and I think you try to get a discount, obviously, because he has such little experience in the league. That's why you have to do it now, though, because I don't think in reality that matters. I think he's just a good hockey player. Like that's just, and he's a guy that you want long term on this hockey team. So that would be
just not like to crunch numbers here and like try and figure out like the actual fit, but like considering the Leafs cap space, just like what's a reasonable number for you for him?
For me, I wouldn't want to go over 4, say. I wouldn't want to go over 4. I would try to get him at maybe a bridge deal, like a 3 to 5 year deal, call it, at like 3.5. See if he'll bite. See if his agent will bite. I don't think that is a bad investment at all. He's probably worth somewhere, like realistically in my eyes, probably in the 4.5-5 range is what I would think he would be looking for. That's why you get him at a lower number now before he continues to prove himself, because that's all he's going to do all year, right? Like what's he sitting at for points right now? Like this kid,
7 goals, 3 assists for 10 points.
10 points through, man, you got to make sure that this kid is a Leaf for his whole career, or not, maybe not his whole career, but the near to mid range. Like you need to ensure that this kid stays a Leaf. He's so good. So let's talk about the game last night a little bit more. We didn't really get a chance, like I said, to watch it. We did, but not in its fullest extent. Marner with a goal and assist, Nylander with a goal and assist. It's good to see, obviously, the other members of the core 4 step up in a time when Auston Matthews is out. John Tavares had a goal last night as well. Connor Timmins, I believe, had the first period goal. I think he had the only goal in the first period. It's been a good week. It really, really has. Obviously, power play, Matthew Nyes, we've already gone over it. It's what we like to see.
Yeah. So it's been quite the opposite in Montreal, if we're going to be totally honest here. So the loss last night makes it 6 in a row. Haven't won since October 27th against the Flyers. It's just, like I talked a lot last year about how like they were at least like in games, they were like competing and still losing, but that was fine. Like you're kind of seeing steps forward. This season has just been kind of a regression back to the first Marty St. Louis season, where they were just, getting pumped and being down 4 or 5 goals in the first period. And like I said earlier, just being soft, like and like I slightly understand like the younger players being a little soft, like, they're new to the league, don't have the experience, but lately it's been really disappointing with the veterans, the Yoel Armias, the Josh Anderson, the Christian Dvorak, Matheson, Savard, basically all the older players, bar Brendan Gallagher, who's probably been the Habs' best player in the last 2 weeks. Just, zero effort from them. Just, they looked last night like they wanted to be doing anything but playing on prime time against the Leafs. Like, it's just, and again, like I don't mind the loss. Like, I understand that's part of this rebuild, but it's frustrating watching them, just not even want to be involved in the game. And at that point, like, Marty St. Louis done a good job handling the younger players. I think now, for him to take a step forward as a coach, like, he's got to, and I don't want to use the word discipline because it's like, but like he's got to be tougher with the veterans. Like, Dvorak's got to start sitting games. Yoel Armia's got to start sitting games. Josh Anderson, frankly, needs to start sitting games. Like, you have to send a message just because you are kind of, a quote unquote established NHL player. Like, that doesn't mean you get to just fucking coast along and fucking collect a paycheck and fucking, delay this kind of the process of this rebuild. So yeah, it's been frustrating. It's the thing is, like, no rebuild is linear. Every rebuild's been up and down and up and down. You could look back at any team that's done a rebuild in the last 15, 20 years. Like, it's never going to be just better all the time. But it just, the last couple of weeks have just been a really kind of sharp downturn, and it's been really disappointing.
Yeah, and growing pains, man, right? You knew this was coming. You all, like you said, it's important with a team like Montreal with a young core, right? Like with your Suzuki's and your Caulfields and the young defenseman you have, the young goaltender that you have, right? Like, that's when you do need those veterans to kind of take that leadership role and kind of teach those younger guys how to be consistent in the NHL. And that's, I think, a challenge for a lot of guys coming into the league, right? And the young guys in Montreal are no exception to that. So, yeah, you definitely need some veteran leadership there, and not like you said, have them out there collecting a paycheck.
Yeah.
So, let's go. Do you want to get into our eliminator?
We can do the eliminator, yes. So I feel like that's a good way to kind of come around to other things here.
Yeah.
So just give me 2 seconds to pull it up. All right.
You have it in the drive, eh?
I do have it in the drive.
I'm going to pull it up here too.
So while you're doing that, so we've got 5 teams eliminated so far. Anaheim, Buffalo, Columbus, Ottawa, and San Jose. Who do you want?
Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off?
Yeah, I feel like after last night and after the last couple of weeks, I feel like it is unfortunately time. I said last time we recorded that I was going to try and keep them in as long as we can, but yeah, we'll rip the Band-Aid off. And the Montreal Canadiens are officially not winning the Stanley Cup this year.
No, they are not. For all of the reasons that you just said, right? Like, it's
yeah. Like, here's the thing: is like even in the hypothetical world where we like somehow make the playoffs, like, just the East and the Atlantic are just so stacked that it's just like, no, like, not a chance.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. Another thing that we should really talk about is, like, who might win the cup, and that is the Winnipeg Jets. This team is on fire.
The best start in NHL history. 14 wins in their first 15 games.
Oh my God.
Just cooking.
Yeah,
as you like to say.
Their only loss has been to the Toronto Maple Leafs. I just want to point that out. But this team is, like, on.
They have a plus 36 goal difference across 15 games, which means they're winning.
Insane.
Like, that's just unbelievable. Only the one loss at home, undefeated on the road. Just, yeah. Here's the thing: we know they're going to collapse come playoffs. Like, that's kind of a unwritten rule with them. But, like, this regular season, they have really stepped it up.
Yes, and they're not only beating, like, trash teams. Like, they beat Colorado on Thursday. They beat Dallas last night. Like that's a quality hockey team. You know,
Well, yeah,
they
that's,
beat St.
that's a
Louis.
big game for them in their division. Yeah.
Right. Like that's huge. They beat Edmonton in their season opener 6-0. Like they are just walking all over everybody right now. They're not discriminatory against who they are just shitting.
No. No, it's literally been everyone but the Leafs.
Yes, it's yeah. Nothing better than beating the Leafs. Remember that?
Oh yeah. That's that clip. That video clip is the only reason why you guys beat them. By the way.
Yeah. Oh my god.
If
I think
he doesn't
6-0 against them since that clip came out.
I don't know the number, but I know you are undefeated since that clip came out. Like if they don't post that clip to social media, like totally, like they're probably
15-0. They're 15-0. 100%. Yeah. No. That is a wagon. That Winnipeg team is a wagon, and obviously the most important part of their team is their goaltender. Like Connor Hellebuck, man, is so good. While we're on the topic of goaltenders, I'm going to bring it back to the Leafs a little bit here.
Yeah.
Anthony Stolarz, man.
Kind of good.
This dude might be the steal of the offseason. Like, how does nobody offer him more than $2.5 million?
I mean, the whole goaltending market this whole summer was just all over the place, but he's a Toronto boy, right?
Stolarz, I think, is American, isn't he?
Oh, for some reason, I had it in my head that he was like a GTA kid. So I say, like, you know.
Yeah, he's from New Jersey.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 30 years old, from New Jersey. But man, I can't say enough good things about what this dude has done for our goaltending situation. Like, he's sitting right now at a 9.30 and a 2.00 goals against. I believe he's tied for first in the league in save percentage.
Hellebuck is 0.005 better. He's running a 9.35. Stolarz is a 9.30.
Okay. So, yeah, he would... Yeah.
And then DeSmith and Hellebuck have better GAAs.
Yeah. Stolarz, yeah, okay. Yeah, I believe, like, up until... It must have been, like, last night, Dostal must have had a bad game, because I believe it was Dostal and Stolarz tied at 9.30 before last night. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. Hey, regardless, Anthony Stolarz has solidified himself as the number one in Toronto. And I'm sorry to Joseph Woll, but...
I mean, look, your best availability, or your best ability is availability, and Joseph Woll just does not have that.
Yeah, he played last night and he played well. Like I said, didn't pay too much attention to the game. We were preoccupied, but you know, one goal against isn't terrible. His start before that wasn't great. I believe his last start before that was in St. Louis, and we got pumped. So, you know, I almost said Hellebuck. I almost called Stolarz Hellebuck. Stolarz has been unbelievable.
Yeah, getting a little ahead of yourself there, eh?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, as of right now, I don't think Joseph Woll is even in the conversation, other than like second half of back-to-backs, man. Like, you know, it's that's how good Stolarz has been, and you can't ask for more out of a guy who you signed in the offseason for $2.5 million. It's awesome. It's beautiful. You know, when we're so used in this market to the Matt Murrays of the world and the Jack Campbell's and Joseph Woll getting hurt and Ilya Samsonov,
Freddie
exactly.
Anderson.
Right. It's just a laundry list of goaltenders that this Matthews era Leafs team has gone through, and I really, really hope this guy sticks, man. Like, oh my God, he's been so good. Like, I've seen enough. I'm about to buy a jersey. You know,
you remember the Jack Campbell hype? Season 1?
I do. But if you look at Anthony Stolarz and his numbers over his career, specifically the past few years, like even in Florida, when he was playing in Florida, like this dude is a quality goaltender. right? And obviously in Florida, he was backing up Bobrovsky. But yeah, man, shut out Boston on, I think it was Tuesday, like I said. He's got a 916 save percentage over his career. Like, we're talking, and he's got 118 games played. Like, this guy is good. Last year, he put up a 925 and a 203 through 27 games. This year, through 10 games, he's improved on that. 200, 930. So, love to see it.
Does he make the American Four Nations team or what?
No shot, man. Come on. Look at that goal.
Well, you know it's going to be Hellebuck and Ottinger, but like, is he your third stringer?
He could be, but there's still like Demko, man. Like if Demko's healthy.
Well, that if Demko's healthy, right?
Yeah. If Demko's healthy, he'll be there though. Yeah.
I was gonna like to pivot to Alex Ovechkin, because he is making kind of light work of having to score 50 odd goals to break the record.
It's this guy. He's generational, man. You were talking earlier about calling off before we started the show. We were talking about wrestling, and we were talking about not wanting to. How did you word it? You don't want to wait 10, 15 years before declaring this guy one of the greatest of all time. This is the greatest goal scorer in league history.
Yeah, so the context was we were talking about current wrestlers and how good they are compared to like the old guys, and I said like we don't have to wait for nostalgia to kick in to realize and like talk about and accept how good these guys are. Like Alex Ovechkin, yeah, we don't need to wait till he's retired or till he's broken the record. Like he's the greatest goal scorer the game's ever seen, greatest goal scorer the game is ever going to see. He's currently on pace for 58 this year. Like, it's hilarious. I think he's down to needing only 30 odd goals. I think I want to say it's 32 now. 32 away from the record. He's gonna fucking smash it by like March. And again, doing this at 39, and like the nice thing about him breaking the record kind of in this fashion is like, even if he had done it like kind of this way and it was like, in his 40s and scoring 10 goals a year for a couple years to like limp over the line, like it still would have been cool to see. But like the fact that he's going to like drop 50 odd to break the record at 39, like it's just incredible to watch.
Yeah. And you're, like you said, you're never going to see a guy like that. Well, maybe Auston Matthews. We'll see how he continues on his career. He is the next generation of great goal scorer, but watching a 39-year-old man, and I was watching Jeff O'Neill. I believe it was in the game against Boston during the intermission. He was talking about like, and we've talked about this before too. How has nobody been able to stop him on that power play? Like, why don't you just glue a guy to him?
I just don't think it matters. I think when you're just at the level that he is and how good he is at that fucking shot from the fucking top of the circle.
Yeah, top of the left circle, 1T every time, man.
Like if all he needs is someone to give him, a half decent pass. It doesn't even have to be perfect. If you put the puck in his general wheelhouse, like it's going on net. It might not go in, but like, and you give him 2 or 3 of those a game, like he's just gonna keep doing it. Like it doesn't. Yeah. That's the beauty with him, is it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, yeah. My guy has 10 goals, 18 points through 14 games at 39 years old. There's really not much else you can say other than this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous that he's doing this still. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, he is just generational, man. Yeah. Like, it's insane. And, a lot of this season a lot of people thought that this season for the Washington Capitals was just going to be force feeding Ovi for this record. And, like, they are also running over teams. Like,
well, I mean, like, I feel like it kind of, him scoring and them actually being really good third in the division right now, like, kind of go hand in hand. Because when your best player is fucking ripping 10 goals in 14 games and, running the offense the way he is, like, it's hard to lose. If that, like, I know it sounds like a very, like, oversimplified way to like put it, but like the Washington Capitals for basically his entire tenure there have been a team where when he plays well, the rest of the team just feeds off that energy and plays well. So I think, with the start he's got to the season, so close to the record, I think he knows he's breaking it. They know he's breaking it. Like, it's just kind of a perfect combination for them of, we're going to get him this record. It's going to be fantastic. But also him scoring these, the 50 odd goals he needs is going to help the team actually play really well.
Yeah. And yeah, he's just something else. Yeah. There's not much else you can say. He is the greatest goal scorer that we will ever see, have ever seen, will ever see, until Auston Matthews gets there. But anyway,
no.
We'll see. He's got to stay healthy. That's the other thing that's been incredible about Ovi's career is he's never hurt. He's never ever hurt, ever. He is like the
only games he misses are the game after the All-Star game when he gets his 1 game suspension.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. Because he doesn't want to go to the All-Star game. All right.
It was cool that he went with Sid last year, though. But yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to get off your chest, Gitano Gallo?
Not particularly. The Habs have. It's going to be an okay, hopefully-ish week for us. So we have Buffalo tomorrow at 12:30 actually, because it's Remembrance Day. So that's in Buffalo. Then we go to Minnesota on Thursday, and then we host the Jackets at the Bell Center on Saturday. So hopefully between the Sabres and Jackets games, there's 2 points in there somewhere. The Wild they're rolling, and I don't think we've beat them in fucking years, so I have no hope for that game. But yeah, hopefully a point or two off the Sabres or Jackets would be a nice a feel good for us, because we kind of need it right now.
Fair enough. Yeah, you want to get a couple of points out of those games for sure. So the Leafs on Tuesday, the Senators are rolling into town. They're off tomorrow for Remembrance Day. See, the NHL, they should just make that a big Canadian teams all playing each other all day. There is no reason for them not to do that. This league sucks. So anyway, Tuesday, Senators roll in. We roll into Washington on Wednesday on the second half of a back-to-back. And then we have the Oilers in town on Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada.
That'll be fun.
That'll be a fun game. Another quick thing, let's chat about, just have to mention it. McDavid coming back already?
That's fine.
No, good for him. He was able to, he's a machine too. Anyway, so that's what the Leafs have going on. And then next week, the week following, we only play a couple of games. We have Vegas and Utah, Wednesday and Sunday. So, yeah, that's what's on the horizon here in Toronto. As long as you don't have anything else to get off your chest.
No, I am good.
This has been episode 131 of the Bitter Rivals podcast, powered by 91N. Thank you for listening, and we will chat later.